Good afternoon, trail maintainers, Coda Trail stewards, and anybody else that's interested. Today, I want to talk about a number of different subjects. It's March the 19th, I believe, 2022. It's a little early. We've not had a great snow year this year, so lower elevation trails are starting to dry out. And I'm out on COD Trail today, and want to take a look at a couple of different things. First, I want to talk about soil and how the forest thinning and vegetation removal is going to be problematic for us in the long term because trails are going to dry out much faster. As you can see, we are almost at a dust condition right this very minute, and that's due to that big old thing up in the sky known as the sun. With less vegetation providing less shade, trails and soils are going to dry out much faster, and that's going to be problematic as we sort of roll into more of a summer season, especially this year. Our soils are more fragile when they're dry, and we're going to have a lot of that condition moving forward as climate change, global warming happens, and forest thinning projects remove a lot of vegetation. There's just going to be a lot less shade, and that's going to be a problem for sure. I also wanted to take a look. Again, I'm on COD Trail here, and I want to talk about two other topics. One is social sustainability and road to trail conversions. And I define social sustainability as having a trail system that generally meets the needs of the users. It reduces user conflict. It's a trail system that's easy to navigate through signage and good maps and those kinds of things. But most importantly is a trail system that meets the needs of the users. And that's, a wide variety of users, user types, different modalities of travel, different ability levels, from beginner to expert. All of those things are what we talk about in social sustainability. So back behind us is a section of COD that is pretty doggone difficult. Most of COD is in fact pretty difficult, but you could pop over from ELV and skip this section back behind us on COD, and the trail moving forward that we're looking at up here where my bike is still COD, but it's rated green. We'll look at the sign over here and we'll see that this little short section of COD is rated green. And as you can see, it is in fact relatively flat. There's nothing technical on it. It is very easy. And it provides a great connection over to the end of Marvin's Garden. And Marvin's Garden is a green trail. And Marvin's Garden just kind of suddenly, abruptly ends, and COD spills down and goes through a very technical section of cutting through a rock band. So there was an old road, a loop road, that a lot of cyclists, a lot of dog walkers, a lot of trail runners used to use to sort of cut out that section that I'm talking about that was difficult. And it provided a really good kind of connection for those that didn't want to do that coming from ELV. And this road was obliterated last year, pulled out of the road inventory, and almost immediately users started complaining because this did have a tremendous amount of recreational use. It was a very recreational focused road. Like I say, it had a tremendous amount of use from dog walkers, trail runners, and mountain bikers. So the social sustainability piece of this is when you pull out something that is a heavily used corridor, it's no surprise that it will develop again. And that's exactly what has happened. I believe that this was obliterated in summer last year. I was not around when it happened. In fact, this is the first time that I've come and looked at it, but I would have predicted what we see happening, and that is road obliteration on something that was a very heavily used recreational corridor in the form of a road. You pull it out of the inventory, you obliterate, and almost immediately a social trail is going to form. And so the question is, what was really accomplished? And here we see some riders that are coming by and using this non-system trail now. They're completely legal. There's nothing in the Land and Resource Management Plan that says they can't be here. Bushwhacking and off-trail use is allowed for horses, it is allowed for hiking, and it is allowed for mountain biking in this particular forest and in the particular Land and Resource Management Plan that we're currently operating under. So we see this social trail that's developed. It has a fair bit of use already. It's not formal, it just kind of happened. No one's out here working on it with tools, but it's just ridden in. And so this introduces the idea of road to trail conversions. I'm all in favor of getting rid of roads on Deschutes National Forest. There are 9,000 miles of road on Deschutes National Forest. That is just an insane amount of roads. And if we want to talk about the impact of trails, we cannot do that without also talking about the significant impact that roads are having on wildlife spaces. But as we do obliterate these roads, we certainly need to think about the opportunity of doing a road to trail conversion. And that's not what has happened here. This is just social trail development happening. A road to trail conversion is when we take an old roadbed and we are going to obliterate it and remove it from the road inventory, but we're going to keep it in the trail inventory, and we're going to place the trail on the best place on that old roadbed or just outside of the old road prism. Typically what we like to do is we like to meander in and out to give it more curvilinear shape. Roads are necessarily fairly straight because of logging truck access needs. And a trail is typically going to be a lot more curvilinear in its shape. So we typically crisscross back and forth. We use guide structures to reinforce where the trail is, but we're formally locating the trail in the best place within that old road prism. And I would argue that that is going to be an important tool moving forward, because social trails like this are going to develop, when there is a tremendous history of recreational use on these old corridors. I know the Forest Service is planning to obliterate some roads and some social trails in the Good Dog area, also known as the Rimrock Trailhead, and I would argue that exactly this same thing is going to happen, and therefore it's really a waste of resources for that to happen without providing ample recreational opportunity. Again, that is a social sustainability concept. I hope this has helped you folks today. This is Woody Keene with Trail Wisdom, bringing you a little trail wisdom for the day. Thank you.